Picture a quiet, suburban neighborhood where life moves at a leisurely pace. A place where everyone knows everyone, or at least they think they do. It's the kind of place where you'd expect to hear the chirping of birds, the laughter of children playing, or the hum of a lawnmower on a sunny afternoon. But today, the tranquility of this idyllic community is shattered. The scene of the crime, a charming house with a well-groomed front yard, the kind of place that radiates warmth and welcome. A place that until yesterday was filled with life, laughter, and love. But today, it stands eerily silent, its peaceful demeanor belying the horror that unfolded within its walls. The victim, a well-respected woman in her mid-50s, known for her kind heart and nurturing spirit. She was the kind of person who'd lend a helping hand to anyone in need, the kind of person you'd call mom, even if she wasn't your own. She was found lifeless in her kitchen, her final moments spent in the heart of her home. The circumstances surrounding her death are as hushed as the whispers that now fill the air. A life snuffed out, not in a moment of rage or an act of violence, but in a quiet, chillingly calm manner. The cause of death: poisoning. Yet there are no signs of a break-in, no signs of struggle. It's as if death quietly slipped in, took what it came for, and left without a trace. As the police tape goes up, the neighborhood is left in a state of shock and disbelief. The whispers grow louder, the questions more pressing. This wasn't the work of a random intruder. This was someone who knew the victim, someone who had access to her home, her life. As the police tape goes up, the question on everyone's lips is, who could do such a thing? In any crime, the first look is always at those closest to the victim. Now imagine a circle of 5 faces, 5 lives entwined with the victims, 5 stories yet to be unraveled. Each one of these individuals, whether they knew it or not, had a reason to visit the house on that fateful day. Each one of them, as the light of suspicion falls on their face, appears to be hiding something. First we have the gardener. A man of few words, he worked the land that surrounded the victim's house, tending to the roses and the hydrangeas. But was his relationship with the victim as innocent as it seemed? Or was there a thorny secret buried beneath the flower beds? Then there's the mailman, always punctual, always friendly. He was a welcome sight at the victim's front door. But mail can carry more than letters and bills. Could he have delivered something far more sinister? Next we turn to the neighbor, a woman of wealth and status. She was known for her sharp tongue and keen eye. Was it simply neighborly concern that brought her to the victim's house that day? Or was it something more calculated? The victim's niece cannot be overlooked. A young woman with dreams bigger than the small town she was born in. She stood to inherit a considerable fortune upon her aunt's demise. Could her dreams have turned into a deadly ambition? And finally, the 8-year-old girl. Sweet and innocent, she was often seen playing in the victim's garden. But even the most innocent can harbor secrets. Did she have a reason to harm the woman who would often give her candy and tell her stories? Each of them, in their own way, could be the killer. But who had the most to gain? As we delve deeper into this mystery, we'll peel back the layers, revealing the truth hiding in plain sight. Because the answer, as always, is hidden among the unlikely suspects. Every crime scene tells a story, and this one was no different. Beneath the surface, the scene held a tale of secrets and deceit, waiting to be unraveled. The clues, seemingly unrelated, were strewn about, each one a piece of a jigsaw puzzle that would ultimately reveal a shocking truth. There was the half-finished meal sitting abandoned on the dining table. A bowl of homemade soup still warm with a spoon resting beside it. The victim had been in the middle of her lunch when the unthinkable happened. An ordinary meal turned deadly. Then there was the mysterious bottle of medicine. It was not your everyday over-the-counter cough syrup. This was something different, something potent. Yet it was found in the kitchen, a place where it clearly didn't belong. It was as if it was planted there, but by whom and for what purpose? And finally, there was the doll. An innocent plaything, a symbol of childhood joy found lying near the kitchen. It was a small porcelain doll which belonged to the 8-year-old girl. It seemed out of place, like a drop of color in a black and white photograph. Why was it there? Could it possibly hold any significance in this grim narrative? These clues, at first glance, seemed unrelated. An unfinished meal, a strange bottle of medicine, a child's doll. But as we delve deeper into the investigation, a pattern starts to emerge. Each piece of evidence, each clue is connected in a way that's both perplexing and intriguing. We can't ignore the unusual presence of the doll or the misplaced bottle of medicine. We can't disregard the unfinished meal. All these clues are pieces of a larger puzzle hinting at a chilling truth. The pieces of this puzzle are scattered and strange, but they all lead to one chilling conclusion. In this game of cat and mouse, everyone has a story to tell. As the investigation deepens, our 5 suspects each put forth their alibis, their stories of where they were and what they were doing at the time of the murder. Each narrative is more convincing than the last, painting a picture of innocence and normalcy that would put anyone at ease. First, we have the gardener, a burly man with calloused hands, who claims he was pruning roses at the other end of the estate, a good distance away from the house. His alibi seems solid, backed up by a trail of freshly clipped blooms. But then, the question arises. How did he not hear anything amiss? Next, we have the butler, an older gentleman with a polished demeanor. He insists he was in town, picking up the week's groceries. Yet there's a nagging inconsistency. The timestamp on his receipt doesn't quite match up with his claimed timeline. The third suspect, the lady's personal assistant, a young woman with a sharp intellect, swears she was at a yoga class during the incident. But her classmates recall her stepping out midway, citing an urgent call. Then comes the chauffeur, suave and smooth-talking. He was supposedly fixing a flat tire in the garage, out of earshot. But the absence of any new tire marks in the driveway casts a shadow of doubt. Finally, we have the little girl, the lady's granddaughter. Innocence personified, she says she was playing in her room, engrossed in her dolls. But there's an air of uncertainty, a hint of something left unsaid. Inconsistencies begin to emerge, casting doubt on their innocence. Each alibi, initially seeming rock solid, now appears to have cracks under scrutiny. The truth hides beneath layers of half-truths and lies, teasing us with its elusive nature. As we delve deeper into the stories, we realize that this isn't a simple case of whodunit. It's a complex puzzle where every piece has a dual face and every suspect has a secret to hide. In this tangled web of lies and deceptions, finding the truth is like finding a needle in a haystack. Just when you think you've seen it all, the unexpected happens. By now, the mystery has thickened, and the air is heavy with unanswered questions. The detectives have been tirelessly piecing together the puzzle, scrutinizing every suspect, every alibi. Yet the killer remains shrouded in shadows until a new piece of evidence comes to light, a piece that nobody expected. The scene unfolds in an ordinary kitchen, the heart of the home. The one place where the victim, a 55-year-old woman, found comfort and solace. And there, in the midst of the familiar, is an 8-year-old girl. She's holding a bottle. A strange bottle that wasn't there before. The label reads medicine, but we all know it's far from that. The little girl with her innocent eyes and cherubic smile is seen adding something to a dish. The very same dish that was later served to the victim. The dish that would be her last meal. Could it be? Could this sweet, unassuming child be the one who unknowingly sealed the woman's fate? It's a chilling thought, one that sends shivers down our spines. A child, at the tender age of 8, entangled in the web of a murder mystery. But what if it was just an innocent mistake? A child's misunderstanding of what medicine does, perhaps? After all, she was only trying to help soothe the woman's cold. The police are taken aback, their minds whirling with this new possibility. It's a twist no one saw coming, a twist that turns the entire investigation on its head. The room is silent, the atmosphere filled with disbelief, shock, and a tinge of sadness. But, as the saying goes, the truth is stranger than fiction. And in this case, it seems to be painfully true. The detectives are left with a daunting task to unravel this unexpected twist and find the truth hidden beneath layers of innocence and tragedy. Could this innocent child be the killer we've been looking for? In every story, there's a moment that changes everything. This is that moment. Under the watchful gaze of the seasoned detectives, the little girl, tiny and innocent, is gently confronted. They ask her about a certain bottle of medicine she might have used. Her bright eyes widen as she nods, confirming their suspicions. She tells them about a day not too long ago when she found the elderly lady in the throes of a persistent cold. The woman's coughs echoed through the house, each one a sharp reminder of her discomfort. The girl, with a heart as big as her desire to help, decided to take matters into her own small hands. She remembered seeing a bottle tucked away, hidden in the recesses of a cabinet. It was labeled medicine, and to her young mind, it seemed like the perfect remedy. She didn't know that the label was a disguise, a mask concealing the true nature of its contents. So she added a few drops of this medicine to the woman's food. her innocent eyes filled with hope. She believed she was helping, that her actions would soothe the lady's illness. Little did she know that she was in fact sealing her fate. As the detectives listened, their faces turned somber. The room filled with a heavy silence, each person grappling with the surreal revelation. The girl, still oblivious to the gravity of her actions, looked on, her eyes questioning their silence. The medicine was, in fact, a lethal poison, a substance so deadly a few drops were enough to snuff out a life. The girl, in her innocence and desire to help, had inadvertently caused the death of the elderly lady. It was a shocking revelation, a twist no one had seen coming. And so the mystery of the murder was finally unraveled, not in a dark alley or a shadowy corner, but in the innocent actions of a child who wanted nothing more than to help, yet, in doing so, had triggered a tragic sequence of events. In a tragic twist of fate, the least likely suspect turns out to be the killer. In the end, the truth is often stranger than fiction. And this mystery is no exception. As we delve deeper into the heart of the matter, we find ourselves at the center of a tale that is both heartbreaking and surreal. Our story revolves around an 8-year-old girl, a child of innocence and naivety. In her world, everything is simple. Medicine makes people better, candies are a treat, and adults are protectors. But what happens when these lines blur? What happens when an innocent act spirals into a tragic event? This young girl, with a heart as pure as the first snowfall, found herself in the unfortunate position of caretaker to our victim, a 55-year-old woman suffering from a common cold. With a natural instinct to nurture, the girl sought to ease the woman's discomfort. However, a tragic misunderstanding would soon unfold. In her innocent desire to help, the girl stumbled upon a bottle labeled as medicine. A medicine, she believed, that would soothe the woman's ailment, a medicine that would make things better. Little did she know, the bottle she found was not a remedy but a poison, a slow-acting, lethal substance that would turn her act of kindness into a deadly mistake. The girl, not knowing the difference, administered the poison, believing wholeheartedly that she was helping. She had no malice, no sinister intent. Her actions were driven by a simple desire to aid someone in need, yet the result was a devastating loss of life. The woman, unknowing of the fatal error, consumed the supposed medicine, trusting in the girl's innocent intentions. As the hours passed, her health deteriorated and the once harmless cold turned into a fatal condition. And so the woman met her untimely end, not by the hands of a cold-blooded killer but by the innocent mistake of a child. This tragic event unraveled a mystery that left everyone baffled, questioning the boundaries of innocence and the cruel twists of fate. The girl who once symbolized purity and innocence became a tragic figure, a child who unintentionally took a life. The light of innocence can often blind us to the harsh realities of the world. A child's innocence, beautiful and pure, can sometimes lead to unforeseen consequences. This tale serves as a stark reminder of the importance of guidance and supervision, of the dangers that lurk in the shadows of innocence. And so our tale comes to a close, leaving us with the haunting reminder that things aren't always as they seem. The innocence of a child, the tragic death of a woman, and a mystery that kept us on the edge of our seats all remind us that life is full of unexpected turns. And as we journey through it, we must always remember that the truth is often stranger than fiction.